pay attention closely, and if you look at Delo right here, Delo is actually pointing in the wrong direction. He wanted Bruno to play it back to a defender. Let's say he loses 50% of the games we play from now to the end of the season. Does Rúben Amorim survive? But does it take a genius to figure out that, hey, here's our revenue, here's our expenses. We're going to keep firing people until our expenses go below our revenue. And now we got a profit. Like, come on, man. I thought we don't like people who are in debt. All of a sudden now, like if I say something negative about our new partners who are also running their own business in huge debt. We just had a game against the Spurs this morning LA time for me. And the game did not go as I thought it would go. I actually thought we would play a lot better because we just had 9 days of training with Rúben Amorim. And even though because of that training, I did see some bright spots, the game was a rough one to watch, probably because we had way too many injuries and we had to play players that he probably prefers not to play, like Casemiro. What's up, YouTube? Thank you very much for joining me once again. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first time watching my videos, I suggest that you go back and you watch a couple of my other videos so that you understand what we're talking about when we start talking about tactics. I would start with the one with this thumbnail here, and then go to this next one there, and then the last one I made a couple of weeks ago. These videos are going to touch on tactics. They're going to touch on what Rúben used to do with Sporting and things like Zone 16 and Zone 18, diagonal runs, and things of that nature that my viewers already know what I'm talking about, and I can talk shorthand with them. We're going to get on with the talk, but you guys, if you're new, go and check those thumbnails out. I have the links in the section, in the description of this video down below. Thank you very much. But let's get on with it. So what was good and what was bad? So I was waiting to see if 9 days of training meant that we're going to hit Zone 16 and Zone 18 more often, if we're going to make more runs there. And actually, we did. And we started right in the second minute. So right in the second minute, this first example, you'll see that Bruno, as soon as he touches the ball, he sends it to Zone 18. But if you pay attention closely, and if you look at Delo right here, Delo is actually pointing in the wrong direction. He wanted Bruno to play it back to a defender, which, as we know from the last game, we were sick of seeing back passes. The crowd was booing at the last game at Old Trafford because we were passing it backwards too much. Delo missed his assignment here. Delo should have been taking off into Zone 18. That's what Rúben Amorim wants. We already know this. Anybody who's been with me for a long time, this is not your first video with me. You know what I'm talking about when I say Zone 18 and Zone 16. If you're new to the channel, like I said, please go back and watch those videos first and then come back and watch this one. Only watch the sections of those videos that says tactics, so you're not spending the whole time watching the entire video. Just click ahead, they're time-stamped. Anyway, Delo missed his assignment here. He should have been taken off into Zone 18. But the good news is, and the bright stuff that I saw was, what's his name? Rasmus Højlund was finally getting it. Rasmus Højlund was running into Zone 18 and Zone 16 throughout the game. Little bit of a warning, I guess. I usually watch the game the first time and I take down all these kind of notes you can't see right now, but I take down a bunch of notes as to what's happening and what minute and stuff for me to watch again when I go back to watch it a second time. So this time around, guys, that game kind of really upset me. I wasn't happy with that game, so it was really hard for me to rewatch the game. I only rewatched the first half, even though I have notes for the second half and stuff like that. I just couldn't put my heart and soul into it to rewatch it again all the way through and see the second half again. So the examples I'm going to show are only for the first half, and if some of the things I talk about I don't have an example for, it happened in the second half, and I'm not going to show it because, like I said, I wanted to get this video out sooner. Usually it takes me 2 or 3 days to make a video after a game. This time I wanted to make a video the day of the game so you guys can watch it the very next day. So excuse me if I didn't want to watch the second half over again today. I'm literally fatigued and tired of watching our team play the way they played. But anyway, let's get right back to it. Rasmus Højlund was making the runs today. Now, that doesn't mean that the passes were good. They weren't, but one time it was really good. This one time, the pass was really good, and we get Rasmus in behind. I believe it was Maguire that sent the pass in. We get Rasmus in behind, and because of that sequence and because it was so good, we got 3 or 4 attempts on goal out of this sequence. I'm going to show them all one by one, and this all happened because of one sequence, all starting with a long ball to Zone 18. Rasmus gets the ball. He cuts in the box. He goes around the player, finds a nice shot with his left foot. The rebound comes off. It goes to Garnacho, I believe. He gets the second shot. And then Delo has an opportunity at one point. I mean, the ball's in the mixer. It's in a dangerous zone. All of it happening because the run to zone 18 happened and it was executed perfectly. Now, the beauty of it is, and I love this, that Rasmus actually called for it. If you look over here on the replay with a different camera angle, Rasmus points at zone 18, telling Maguire to send the ball to zone 18. This is so good. When I saw this, and this was early in the game, when I saw this, I started thinking, oh, okay, this is going to start a new run. We're going to put together a run. We're going to get some opportunities. We're going to start scoring, or at least finding a way around the goal, because this is exactly what Rúben wants. And it didn't happen. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but it's still a glimpse of what's to come. It's still a glimpse of, okay, so this is what he's trying to get the team to do. This is exactly what Sporting used to do when Rúben was over there, and we're starting to kind of see it. We're starting to kind of do it, but it's just not happening often enough. And unfortunately, way too often, those passes were still short or just not good, or the timing was wrong, or a player like Dalot, like I showed you earlier, wasn't making the run even though Bruno sent the ball, and stuff like that is still going on. We still need to get better. We still need to think faster. We still need to get better. One of the other examples that I really like seeing, because it's just like the way Sporting plays it. So when Sporting switches play from one side to the other and they're trying to get out of their own half, I've showed you this one before. The ball goes to a diagonal runner, a midfielder who's making a diagonal run from the inside to the outside, and as soon as he gets the ball, he sends it to the striker, which is Gyökeres, making that run right here. I mean, there is no time to waste. The midfielder makes a diagonal run, the defender gives him the pass, and then the very next pass, the midfielder sends the ball to Gyökeres, who's also making a diagonal run towards zone 16 or 18. We did kind of the same thing right here. Bruno Fernandes makes a diagonal run, the defender gets him the ball, and right away he tries to get it to Rasmus, who's also making a diagonal run. Again, a glimpse of Rúben Amorim's system starting to come into play. Rúben Amorim's style, I should say, or tactics starting to come into play. It wasn't bad to see. I know it's a horrible game. I just told you, I don't even watch the second half again. Even though there were moments like this in the second half too, that I could have pointed out and told you, like, hey, see, there's another one. But I just couldn't put myself through it. We just don't have the quality of player needed, even though the tactics are starting to come together, or maybe they're not really coming together, but they're coming together more than they used to. We still don't have the caliber of player to actually make those things turn into like deadly situations and goals. But it is happening, kind of. Rúben and his coaches are doing their job, is what I'm trying to say. This is what I see. When I see it, we're starting to evolve. We're starting to look a little bit more like Sporting did when Rúben was there. That means the coaches are doing their jobs. It's now on the players to execute. Another bright spot for me was Joshua Zirkzee. Zirkzee was actually pretty good as a 10. Zirkzee as a 10 today was better than any other time that Rúben gave him a run out at that 10. He showed that he's good on the ball. The couple times he let the passes go, he was trying to be a little too fancy or too smart for his own good. Like he would let a pass run past him because he thought somebody else behind him was going to be able to get the ball and trick the opponent or get a shot, but there was no one behind him to get the ball. Those times kind of pissed me off. I'm like, just get the ball, man. We're down by one. Like, stop being fancy. Just finish it or take a shot. But other than that, he actually showed that he can play as a 10. He's got a little bit of that touch and the dribbles to play as a 10. I still don't think he should be like a first choice 10, if you will. I think that in the summertime, they should back this manager and bring in 2 10s for him to use. An older, more experienced one, and then a younger one that can learn. Zirkzee can count as another younger one so that they can all basically take turns playing as a 10. And of course, I hope that we get a striker in for this summer. The bad spots in the game, the stuff that really worried me, were Mazraoui and Casemiro. Mazraoui and Casemiro today were just not good in their duels. They really were slow. And then initially when the goal happened, I tweeted out on X that that goal's on Casemiro because it looked to me like he was slow and he let his guy get past him, which then opened up more space and time for Tottenham to make something happen with the cross. But after rewatching the game the second time, making this video, I'm going to put the goal on Onana. I really think Onana could have put a stronger hand to it, pushed it away from his goal, and not just knock it down in front of himself. Now, some people will tell me that he barely reached it with his hands and he couldn't really get some power behind it and push it away. Maybe. I think that he should have. To me, it looks like it wasn't that far away from his body when it was coming to him. He could have probably pushed it farther away. And if he couldn't, because that's all he can reach, then maybe we need to get a bigger goalkeeper. I don't know what to tell you, or a faster one, or someone who reacts quicker. It just doesn't feel like it was Casa's fault. I feel like Onana shouldn't have spilled it or dropped it or blocked it right in front of him like that. I think that he could have done better and pushed it away. But bottom line is, it really doesn't matter. Bottom line is, we can't score a goal. So it doesn't matter if it's on Onana or Casemiro or nobody, and the Spurs just kind of scored a really good goal that nobody could have stopped. It doesn't matter. What matters is we can't score a goal, and we've gotten too many games this year where we've either not scored a goal or we've scored a goal because of Ahmad's individual brilliance instead of actually creating chances that we finish. Now, obviously, we did create a handful of chances in this game, which is actually more than we've created in other games. We've played worse games. We created some chances, but we didn't put away our dinner. We did not score any goals, and that is kind of scary and heartbreaking. And that kind of leads me to my next discussion, which is, does this manager get a chance to survive the season no matter what happens for the rest of the season? The reason why I titled this "Is Manchester United's Season Over?" isn't because I actually believe it's over. We're still in 2 cups, and I really would like to win one of them, hopefully both of them. But it would be nice to win one of those cups. And I do think we have a chance, but it's a hard one, especially with no Ahmad, and especially with the players that we have. And if we get a couple more, like Ugarte can't play for the rest of the season for some reason, it's going to be really, really tough. I don't know if we're going to be able to win a cup or not, but the reason why I titled it "Is the Season Over for Manchester United?" is because I'm trying to figure out, or I'm thinking, if he only wins, let's say he loses 50% of the games we play from now till the end of the season, does Rúben Amorim survive? Does he get sacked, or does he survive? Does he have some guarantees from the board, from the people in charge that, hey, you joined us in mid-season. We understand it's rough. No matter what happens, we're going to stick with you. We're going to back you this summer, and we're going to give you a chance next season. Do you guys believe that to be true? Leave a comment down below. Really tell me if you actually believe that to be true, or if you think Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS, who don't have a problem sacking people, it's obvious they've let us all know they have no problem sacking people, if they're going to sack Rúben Amorim, even though they're the ones who put him in this horrible position. Leave it in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think. Guys, real quick, before I go on, I want to remind everybody here, in case you didn't know or you forgot, that I am going live for the first time ever this Friday on bigup.com at 9:30 a.m. my time, which is Pacific Standard Time. I believe that's 5:30 p.m. England, UK, England time. I don't even know how to say that. But I believe that's 5:30 p.m. UK, England time, but it's definitely 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can look that up on Google to find out when, or you could just go to bigup.com, find my channel, and you'll see a posting with a countdown telling you when I'm going live. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Please come join me. It would be great to have you there. I'm actually going to, if I can figure out how to make this thing work. Again, I've never been live. I don't know what I'm doing when I go live. This is the first time. That's why you're seeing this arm and the mic hanging here, because I had to put my keyboard in front of me and the mouse in front of me. I'm trying to figure out how to, I set up my room differently. The keyboard used to be here on this desk, and you can still see a mess over there. I'm actually in the middle of doing that today. Is reorganizing because I'm trying to get another monitor. Well, I have another monitor here now that I just bought, and I'm trying to get this figured out so I can go live. I can look at the monitor. Whereas before I would just record like this, and then I would go over there and edit on that monitor with the keyboard there and everything else. So this is all new to me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I am going to open up the lines or whatever, because on bigup.com, if you guys have a camera and a microphone, you can actually join the show. Basically, you can get on the show. I can put you on the screen and we can have a conversation. We're going to talk about tactics, and we're going to talk about the new ownership structure with the partnership and what you guys think of it, what I think of it. And I've got a lot to say that I haven't even said on these videos that I make. So come join me. You get to ask questions. I might even ask you questions, and we'll go back and forth and figure things out together, how to do a good live show. Okay. 5:30 Friday, this Friday, the 21st. On bigup.com. Thank you. Okay, so after the game, I saw a bunch of pundits like Gary Neville and Roy Keane and other people, Jamie Redknapp, whatever, saying a bunch of negative things about Rúben Amorim and how he needs to stop being so stubborn and arrogant and use the players that he's got, and he's got to make the players better or perform so that the players are performing at their best capabilities or whatever it is. And if that means changing to a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, I don't know. They were just talking a bunch of, honestly, I don't know, because some of it was just nonsense. It's pure nonsense from people who aren't coaches, aren't managers, or were failed managers. They're great people. This is not me saying anything negative about them as human beings. That was their opinion, and they are pundits to do that. They got hired to be pundits to entertain us and to. The sad part is that there's a lot of the audience that watches these people, and they get their education of football from these people. So they think that when they hear Gary Neville say something like, oh, Rúben Amorim's making mistakes and he should switch the formation and play a 4-3-3, that it's gospel. Like Gary Neville isn't a failed ex-manager. As if Gary Neville ever did anything really well as a manager. Gary Neville can give us all advice, and we would all listen about business, work ethic, how to play as a fullback in a 4-4-2, and things of that nature. I would sit there and listen to Gary all day long. But Gary Neville giving me tactical advice or talking to me about tactics, I don't really know if there's a lot of merit to it. There's some merit to it because he's played the game, he's experienced it. But I forget it. I'm not going to talk about me. But again, I just don't know how much it benefits a lot of the audience, because I think a lot of if you ask Gary Neville right now, is Rúben Amorim trying to get out of his half by hitting diagonals into zone 16 and 18 with the forwards making diagonal runs and the wingbacks checking back to open up that space? I don't know if he saw that or if he would listen to me say that and go, oh, interesting, because he didn't see it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, did he sit down and watch a bunch of sporting games and analyze what Ruben's even trying to do? And then watch our games and see how close we are to actually doing it, but failing at it because we still don't have it. Like, the training time is probably still a little lacking for the players that we have. We need like double the training time it would take other players who actually fit the system, because we have players that don't fit that tactic or system. So it's going to take them a little bit longer to understand how to play that tactic or system. Anyway, I don't think that it has a lot of merit, but you might disagree with me, and leave that in the comments. When it comes to disagreeing with me and leaving comments, though, I do have something to say, because my last video got a lot of hate. I actually lost a half a dozen subscribers on my last video because I said some negative things about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and some people get pissed off when I say negative things about INEOS. It's fine. You're allowed to get mad. You're even allowed to unsubscribe. That's not what I'm trying to say. But some people literally abuse it is abuse, though. Some people come at me in the comments or on Twitter and say abusive things or trying to make a point. They don't even recognize that they're being abusive. They want to debate, let's say. They want to argue their point and debate. Totally fine. I encourage that. I want that. One guy actually even like accused me of deleting his post, which I'm sure if he goes back and looks at the comments now, he'll find all the posts there. If I deleted them, there wouldn't be there. But sometimes YouTube takes a minute or two for your post to actually show up. But he accused me of deleting his post. Bro, you don't know me, but look at me. If you're here, you're watching this, look at me. I don't delete posts. I have no problem with anybody disagreeing with anything I say and leaving it in the comments. Actually, I encourage it. If you disagree with me, talk to me. Leave it in the comments. It stimulates thought. It makes it a better conversation when we go back and forth and try to figure out what the truth is and what facts are. But that's the problem. I want to hear truth and facts. I don't want to hear your feelings and emotions. I don't want to hear a lot of opinion that is not based on facts. Sure, of course, what I'm saying is also an opinion, but my opinions are based on facts that I've read and I've seen. Are they or are they not firing a bunch of people? Have they or have they not done anything well at OGC Nice or the other football club they own? Laurens, whatever it's called, in the other place, Sweden. I don't remember where it is, dude. But you know what I'm saying. If you've done the research, if you've looked at it, has OGC Nice not finished 9th, 5th, 9th, and then finally they're in the top 4 this year? But they might not be next season. They might be right back to 9th because they finish 9th every 2 years. Have they not sacked more managers than seasons they've actually owned the team? Maybe this year makes them even, meaning they've been in charge for like 5 seasons and have already had 5 managers. Do you get what I'm saying there? They keep sacking managers and mistakes. They've already admitted they've made mistakes. Their cycling team hasn't won anything in a while. Formula One, they got involved with Mercedes. Mercedes stopped. Mercedes Formula One team used to be amazing. INEOS got involved, and very quickly, they haven't won. Now Lewis Hamilton's leaving to go drive for Ferrari. I'm not sure about how good these guys are at running a sports team. They are really good at the petrochemicals business. They might not be good at sports. That's all I'm saying. They might not actually know what they're doing when it comes to sports. Now, do they know what they're doing to turn a profit? Yeah. But does it take a genius to figure out that, hey, here's our revenue, here's our expenses. We're going to keep firing people until our expenses go below our revenue. And now we got a profit. Like, come on, man. Come on, dude. Do something challenging. Raise this part. Raise the revenue for me. You know how you raise revenue? By making it to the Champions League. You know how you do that? By backing your manager. That's how you do that. Now, are they doing all of this, firing people, causing all kinds of hoopla in the fandom by raising ticket prices before they've even made the product any better? So while the stadium is still leaking and while the product on the field is actually getting worse, they want to raise ticket prices. Who in any industry does that? Who in any industry, I don't care if it's sports or not, where the product's actually getting worse, does the value somehow go up and the ticket price actually go up? That makes zero sense. But they'll tell you that that's what we have to do. Okay, fine. If this summer they don't spend $300 million, 300 million, if they only spend 180 to 200, we've done that in the past without doing these things. We've spent 180, 200 without firing a bunch of people and without raising ticket prices. Now, some of you are going to say, yeah, we did do that in the past, but that's why we're in the mess we're in now. Dude, you can't come in and not try to fix the mess, but piss everybody off in the same time. So you have to give us a happy day. You got to figure out how to get rid of Marcus Rashford if that's what you want to do. You got to figure out how to get rid of Anthony if that's what you want to do. It's on them. That's their job. If I didn't do my job, I'd be fired. People would say bad things about me at my job if I didn't do my job well. That's their job. They need to figure out how to do it well and give us a 250 to 300 million spend summer. Not my job. And it's okay for me to sit here and say they failed if they didn't do it, because it's my opinion that if they're going to put us through these kind of things, raising ticket prices, firing hundreds and hundreds of people, then they need to show that those measures are for this goal of backing the manager, giving the fans what we want, which is a new team, and going again next season. That's all. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's all I always say. And I don't trust that these people know what they're doing because of past experiences that they've had with their other sports teams. And by all means, don't take my word for it. The Times and The Athletic wrote articles about INEOS just this past week about how bad they are at sports and about how their own finances at INEOS is in trouble, how their credit rating was going down because they're more debt than they make in revenue by 5 years or something. They have basically 5 times more debt than they make in revenue a year. Not profits, revenue, not profits. So 5 times more debt. I thought we don't like people who are in debt. All of a sudden now, like if I say something negative about our new partners who are also running their own business in huge debt, that's okay. But when the Glazers were running us in debt, that's not bad. That's bad because they used the debt to buy the club and they've been taking dividends and blah, blah, blah. I get it, man, but that's your opinion. And my opinion is this is just as bad. Now, if you're going to argue with me and you want to change my mind, that should be the basis of your argument. What I mean by that is like, come and debate with me, have a conversation, leave a comment because you're trying to change my mind. But if you're in the comments calling me dumb or an idiot or doing LOLs for no reason, like, you really think Sir Jim Ratcliffe bought the team so he could not win, LOL? Or calling me a clickbaiter when I don't make any money doing what I'm doing. Why would I clickbait anybody if I'm not making money doing this? I'm doing this for fun. I actually I've lost thousands of dollars. Let's put it that way. I spent more buying this arm, that monitor, so that I can go live this Friday and I don't make any money, guys. I'm doing this as a hobby. This is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I like it. Something to do. And I love talking football. I coach for a living, so I like talking tactics. And Manchester United is like my team. I love my team. And this is a way for me to vent. If you guys saw the last video, I was really frustrated in the last video and you guys helped me out. I vented to you. You know, a lot of people in the comments were super duper nice to me. If you don't agree with me, you can leave it in the comments. But please remember that your goal in an argument should be to convince me of something you would rather I believed in instead of the thing that I'm saying, which I do believe in. If you're going to insult me and call me names, then all you're being is abusive. You're not trying to convince me. And why would you do that to a fellow Manchester United fan? We both want the same thing in the end. We want our club back on top. So why would you be abusive and call me names? That's not arguing to change my mind. That's abusing me because it's fun for you. And if that's what's fun for you, if it brings you happiness and joy to abuse someone else who's actually a fellow Manchester United fan like you, but wants the same things you do, just has an opinion about some of the ways we're being run, then there's a bigger problem at hand here. This isn't about like me not liking INEOS and you liking INEOS. There's a huge problem. You should get a puppy, a girlfriend, be around people who love you so you don't need to abuse other people to feel good about yourself. Because that's really what it is. Arguments and debates have changed so much in the time that I've been alive on this planet. Nowadays, you can't even watch a debate between politicians where they're not actually abusing each other and calling each other names. That's not how it's supposed to be. That gets us nowhere in society, and that's going to get us nowhere as fans. Thank you very much. I'm done for today. It's a short one. I will make another one that's not so dang serious, probably in the next 2 or 3 days, because I do want to make another video. I have a couple other things on my mind that I want to talk about, that I want to get off my chest before the Friday live. Guys, join me for Friday live at bigup.com, 9:30 a.m. California time. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you soon.